and Imogen had little purple shorts over hers. I tore my eyes away from their innocence and looked back to Eliza. "So," I said, "go on then, let's hear it." Seth had jogged away to throw stones in the sea when he realised that Eliza was embarking on the story of her latest date. "I don't need to know about these things," he'd said, holding his hands up, and left us to it. She stretched her legs out and started to fiddle with the edge of the tartan rug. "It's one for the annals," she said. She turned down the corners of her mouth, possibly a classic. "Okay, it started well. We met in Toast, which is a cool place, but it's full of bloody students, all loud music and people drinking brightly coloured shots that I wouldn't even know how to order. So I spotted him at once, because he was the guy in his 40s, 50s even maybe, I don't know, sitting in a corner, looking out of place, nursing a pint of bitter, and ignoring all the young folk in their outlandish clothes. I thought I should have suggested the Chain Locker. The Chain Locker was a traditional pub, beloved by Seth, and by every man who liked a nice pint of ale. And he looked fine. Grey hair, longish, but above his shoulders and slicked back in that professorish sort of way. A bit Julian Barnes. Nice jacket. I looked at her. She was squinting into the sun, avoiding my eyes. I was waiting for the but. "So," she continued, "he got me a drink, a glass of wine, and we sat down and started to chat. I was trying, on the one hand, not to shrink away with terror at the idea that I was in the company of someone halfway presentable, and on the other, not to jump ahead to planning when he could meet the girls. Even though he was so old. Even though we did the awkward getting to know you thing for a bit. You'd think I'd be okay at that by now, but it doesn't get easier." She tailed off. "And then?" I prompted. There was a gentle breeze from the sea. It made the little hairs on my arms stand up. "And then he asked if I was Cornish. I said yes. He said, good. He doesn't mind people moving here from England, just as long as they're not what he calls the ethnics. I'm not racist," he said. He actually used those words. "I just don't think this is the place for them. It's tradition." At which point I wanted to throw my drink down my throat and howl at the moon. Another fucking dud. Can you imagine? I sighed. We had pored over this man's emails together, and he had seemed promising. Self-deprecating, charming, funny. "So what did you do?" She sighed. "I fiddled with my wine glass for a bit without saying anything, and then I thought, fuck it. I can't just sit here because that implies that I agree with him. So we fought. It got heated. I think he was a bit drunk already. He said I'm a crazy PC bitch who betrays her homeland with every breath she takes. I said if he doesn't like seeing black faces around town, that does actually make him a racist. I think I said, you are not just a racist, you are a racist fuck." She smiled. All the students stopped drinking and stared at us. I got a round of applause at one point. I lay down on my stomach and rested my chin in my hands. "Well done. Sorry you had to go through that, though. So, who was worse, the racist or the alcoholic from April?" She considered this. "The racist was more objectionable, and he has to take the crown for the moment, but the alcoholic chased me down the street until I ran into a pub and knocked myself in the ladies, so it's hard to say." She looked at me. Patrick was every bit as bad too, because I actually already knew him and liked him, and I thought that we could have a future of some sort. She narrowed her eyes. "But all he wanted to do was talk about you. And now I have to see him all the time at school, and I skulk around avoiding him because I'm so embarrassed. He tries to talk to me, and I wave at imaginary people on the other side of the playground and stride away from him." I swept Patrick away with my hand. That'd be